Hey there, and let's talk about animations. There could be a full course about animations, but as scientists, we only need to know a few things, like what to avoid and when to use it effectively. Basically, animations are there for us to increase our ability to highlight information. As pretty much everything that we talk about in terms of slide presentations is about conveying our message in the best way possible. PowerPoint allows you to use many kinds of animations. But I would say there are only 4 reasons why you might want to add animations to your presentation. One is to make individual visual elements appear only when you want your audience to see them. And number 2 would be removing them whenever they are no longer relevant to your message. Number 3 is when you want to direct your audience attention. And the number 4 and most important one, to enhance understanding about how a process works, for example, by showing how individual components dynamically interact. And I'll show you a couple of examples. But first, take a look at this. I'm against animations that don't add value or meaning to your message. If I present this, does it add any value to my message? Well, most probably you're going to be talking about your methodology, and this is just going to distract your audience. It might be pretty cool, but again, does it add any value? Do you want your audience attention focused on this? This is just a waste of time. So don't use animation effects unless they work in your favor. Now in this next example, let's say I'd be explaining about recombination. Now in this case, what you can do is a simple animation that's gonna add information and describe a process. Like this. And then next this. Now you see what I mean, right? You can also animate movements. And these techniques can be very effective to explain how the molecules interact with each other, for example. And you see a simple animation effect here. Move the cartoon biomolecules from left to right and across a depiction of a microtubule. So instead of animating this quickly, you can adjust the settings and make it move in like 30-40 seconds, for example. And you can use this time to describe the phenomenon. And every time you use movement, make sure it's always from left to right, because that's how we are used to reading, and it's more comfortable for us to experience a movement that is from left to right. The same goes in terms of our intuition of gravity. So animation movements that make objects descend come much more natural to us compared to ones that would rise vertically. Now my favorite animations are simply the ones that make objects appear and disappear. Or just using this transparent effect, you can easily shift everybody's attention to your next point. And this is what you want to be doing. It's not about being cool, it's about being effective. Now lessons to remember. Use animations to introduce concepts, like the example with the recombination, or if you want to communicate your message better, by having your charts appear in different times, for example, so you can discuss one and then another. Don't forget to animate your objects, in case you do, in a natural way. Also animate stuff quickly. If you make a huge list of bullet points and start with the first, and you take 10 minutes there, and then you go for the second, make sure you don't do that. Otherwise your audience will zone out, that's for sure. And transitions. We didn't even talk about them because they are rarely needed. Maybe to start a new section of your talk, but we already have the home slide for that. So that's it, guys. In case you want to know more about animations or any doubt that you have, don't hesitate to communicate with us and we will be more than glad to help you. I'll see you in the next one.